Have you guys noticed what I've noticed? Ever since the T249's introduction, I haven't really wanted to play my usual suspects. I love playing things like the AMX 30B, and my Shpatuk I've been wanting to play for so long, and even though that's a tier 8, I don't want to risk it. I've just been scared, I guess, to play my paper tanks, and even the few times that I have played them, it's not been great. I already got clipped out in my 30B, so I'm just not going to touch that until something happens. But even tanks that I do want to play and have played, like the 48 Patton, that thing's still not safe. I was in a city on Live Oaks, and I had 800 HP, and then in a second I'm dead because a T249 got my rear while I was fighting someone else. And so you're just not safe in many vehicles. And so what have people been starting to do because of that? Well, they've been pulling out things like the E100 you see here. The Rogel Dorn I've been seeing way more lately. That vehicle was played fairly often when it came out, despite being a quite expensive vehicle. But now, I've been seeing them like they've just released. I've been seeing them a lot more. And so what you have right now is an influx, a large quantity of 2800 HP vehicles and more in your games. Is that necessarily a bad thing? No, some people might enjoy being able to farm for more damage. But there's been plenty of games I've had, much to my annoyance, where I'm playing tanks that just can't deal with that much HP that quickly. And these super heavies pack quite a punch, 750 alpha damage is no joke. Type 5's HE gun is no joke. The Rogel Dorn's 700 alpha gun with a 90mm secondary is no joke, with its double barrel option as well. It's just a lot. And you've also been seeing a lot of Sturm Tigers too. Just yesterday on my live stream, I saw at least a Sturm Tiger every other game, if not more, with even platoons of Sturm Tigers. And that is like, not because of the T249, but because those players might be noticing the influx of super heavies, and so they're playing Sturm Tigers to just splash for lots of damage. But either way, I think it's clear that a shift has happened because of one tank's introduction and its power against certain vehicles. And so it's safe to assume that many players are thinking like myself and playing vehicles that are quote unquote immune to the toxicity that is the T249, where I'll only take chip damage and I'll only have to worry about being outspotted by it. It's never felt this toxic before to play certain vehicles. And the sort of rock, paper, scissors aspect of the game has been kind of muddied with this vehicle. It just does far too much DPS against these paper tanks. And against really anything it can pen, not even paper tanks. You can get the rear of a Patton, you can get the rear of a Super Conqueror and take it out in 2 seconds. And so it's safe to assume that many players want to avoid that, and I want to avoid it, which is why I've picked up super heavies far more than I've ever played them. I've been really enjoying the mouse, actually. The E100 not so much. I played with both of its guns. I used to use the 12-8 a lot until I realized just how pretty good the 15cm is on this thing. Pretty accurate, but I'm still upset missing my mediums, missing my 30B. I want to play my Leopard. I want to finish 3 mark. I want to play certain vehicles, but I don't want to get screwed over by one vehicle in particular, And there's only one T249 on each team here in this match. But even after a season launch, even after a Winterfest event launch, I am still getting games with 2 per team, 3 per team, 4 per team, 3-man platoons of them, you know? 3-man platoons of Sturm Tigers to eat up the super heavies that are being played to counter the T249. Like, the whole ecosystem is changing, you know? And whether that's a good thing, you know, can be argued, I guess. A shakeup is neat. But I don't think a shakeup to this degree is necessary to do a shakeup in the first place. And especially as a reaction to just one tank in particular. And I believe this i7, by the way, if you've been watching, has damage reduction. Because we hit below 600 damage there. And if I'm not mistaken, a 750 alpha gun can only do 600 damage to 900 damage. So I definitely low rolled there with 591. Anyway, this game, I chose it for what is happening on screen. Now, mind you, my platoon mate is in a bat. He's in a paper tank. He did just get shot at by an IS-7, so, like, you know, technically he was, quote-unquote, weak, but this T249 literally just came in and assassinated him with no reaction allowed for him to fight back, really. And I don't have the DPM to take it out. And that was it. You know? If the changes that I've suggested in my, you know, review or in other people's suggestions, where you increase the time it takes to dump the mag, you lower the damage, you give people more reaction speeds or availability to react to such a thing. But I literally just had to watch my friend get assassinated because the T249 was super confident with the power of his vehicle to take a hit from me and him. Unfortunately, I don't think he hit. And thus, just assassinate someone in so short of a time that he can just come in, kill him, and leave. And to me, that's ridiculous. To me, I feel like we shouldn't be allowing such a thing in the game. I don't know how it really is like an argument about balance at this point, because it's just blatant to me. The Avery, I can understand people like not seeing it, and I've been procrastinating a review, quote unquote, of the Avery to explain it to people, but I really don't see how the T249 is even controversial. It just straight up should be obvious. But of course, that's not how the world works, Cone. Anyway, it's 6-6, and their T249 is still alive, while mine just offed himself. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? And now being rushed by a Death Star. Not that it really matters, because I have quite a lot of HP. It's 4-6 now. My Ruthless just died. But I'm going to get shot in the rear by the T249 while the Death Star bounces me. I'm not going to finish him off with someone else's, but I'm getting shot in the rear by an actual formidable tank. Now I got to focus down this ST2 and kill him, so he can't just farm me from the rear, because I have my 2 other tanks behind me now. So hopefully they can hold on their own and let me deal with this. Now we're up to 5,000 damage. We've gotten 2,100 spotting, or not spotting, but a combination of spotting and tracking, and we've blocked 3,300 damage. How much of that is the T249? I don't know, because not every shot from the T249 is guaranteed chip damage. And there we go. We're up to 4,100 now, thanks to him. So there you go. I just don't like that we have to deal with this. You know what I mean? ST2 just penned me, by the way, and a tank destroyer actually killed both of my teammates that were behind me that I was relying on. So now I have to worry about him and use this train to provide me with cover. Luckily, it's doing me well, and I realized where he shot me from to make the accurate angles. And I actually blind fired the T249, but only got a crit. How beautiful that would have been if I connected to the actual hitbox of the vehicle, which is another aspect of the tank that's just so wonky and annoying and I don't want to harp on the T249, especially when such a more problematic issue has arisen, but they can't just tease us with the strike team and then, you know, not continue to follow up with it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear more news. I want to hear discussions are still happening. I get that it might be annoying to be like, we already told you there's a strike team. We'll let you know when things are done. But I want to know that that strike team is still a thing. You know what I mean? I want to know that you didn't just get rid of it. Now, watch this, because where'd that T249 go? Where did I last shoot him? Oh, well, there he is. Lucky me. Boom. HE shot. It's fantastic. Good for me. Now it's against 2 artillery. We got rid of the problem tank, even though in some people's eyes it wouldn't be a problem against my vehicle, which I can understand the inefficiency at the chip damage compared to actual damage. But the tank could still outspot me, spot me for Izardi. Izardi missed, luckily for me, and still do chip damage. So the tank is still a problem. The tank would still cause me issues if I didn't take it out there. But regardless, something needs to be done about it. There's been a lot of calls for its removal, and I've heard that from plenty of different people. And to me, it's quite a surprising take. Because personally to me, I think you just need to nerf it. It doesn't need to be removed. Like, I'm okay with the vehicle existing. I'm okay with it being an anti-air. I'm okay with it being a rotary autocannon. Does it feel like a Cold War vehicle? Yes. It doesn't feel like it was made for World War II first. But I'm okay with it. If it were just balanced. That's the only thing that needs to be done. It doesn't need to be removed. It needs to become a balanced vehicle in World War II. And then if they have to, and if they want to, I suppose, they provide refunds for the people who want their money back. Whatever, go ahead. I'll keep mine, because if you made it fair and balanced, it would be a fun vehicle for me to go and play. Because who doesn't like doing a little Burt, right? I understand the fun aspect of the vehicle, but being fun does not necessarily mean being overpowered, and you don't need to be overpowered to be fun, right? I have fun in tanks that aren't overpowered. Plenty of fun. And there are plenty of vehicles that are towing the line or pretty bad that you can have fun in. And it's because of their uniqueness. This vehicle doesn't need to be nerfed into the ground and be horrible, but it doesn't need to be overpowered. And toning down the values of everything, toning down its DPS, its DPM, its BS, its camo, right? That would all just serve to make the game more fair and the tank more balanced, but the fun factor would still be there. You have a literal Burt cannon. You're going to chip away at people, right? You move the chip damage to the HE and make it semi more reliable, right? And there's a fun factor of, do I load the penning round or do I load the chip damage HE round? And there's more challenges, there's more options, there's more decisions to be made. And that's where the fun of the game should come from. The fun of the game shouldn't come from brain dead activity. And if you only enjoy brain dead activity, then I'm sorry, but, you know, think about the rest of us. We like to actually use video games as a challenging endeavor. Anywho, you saw there at the end, I actually killed the artillery with a baby gun. Let's go. E100 baby gun's not pathetic. It kind of is, but it's, you know, it has its purposes. Those artilleries were making very cool plays, in my opinion. But luckily we have big guns, and I had a platoon, or not a platoon mate, but a teammate still alive to help me out there. But Ace Tanker 2100 base XP, was not expecting that in the E100. That was my first E100 ace, I believe, as well. But T249, I know the comment section on my review was kind of back and forth. There were plenty of adamant agreeers with me that it's a problem, but also adamant deniers of the issue. And I just hope we can get away from the excuses and the strawmans of fun and blah blah blah, and just focused on balance and fairness in a video game that's PvP. If this was a PvE game, right? Who cares if you're overpowered against bots? But you're fighting other players. Have some respect for those fellow players and think about their fun, right? Everyone can have fun. It shouldn't just be the player who paid for 9,000 gold tier 10 that's having the fun. Everyone should be able to have fun in the match. And it's about outplaying, you know, choosing rock when they chose scissors type of stuff, right? It's about the dynamics. And if the dynamic is just that you're overpowered and I'm not, it's not fun for everybody. It's only fun for you. So please open your minds and think about other people when you discuss whether you think this tank is not OP, because it definitely is. It definitely is. That's all I have really to say. It's been how many weeks now since this vehicle's come out? And it's still being played like it was just released, with multiple per team, every other game or every game. And so, you know, the other usual tactic of, oh, it'll just die down, don't worry, it'll go away. The power is only because you're seeing multiple. No, it's not that. Please stop saying it's that. Please open your eyes. Please listen. Anyway, not to make a long video any longer, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.